What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we are back with the sixth and final round from day one of the German Vault Tour. There will be day two tomorrow, don't worry, those videos are coming. Or if you're watching on Twitch, I'll be here tomorrow, I'll be here all day, well, as long as the stream's on. And this is round six, we've got two players who are sitting there at 3 wins, 2 losses, and it's really simple. They are on deck number 3. This is free deck survival. They have already lost with deck number 1. They have already lost with deck number 2. Either they win with deck number 3, they go through to day 2, and that is a deck they have to play. Or they're out. Simple as that. Remember, free deck survival, you start with 3 decks. Every time you lose with one, that deck is eliminated from the tournament. When you're out of decks, you are eliminated from the tournament. Simple as that. And these players are down to their final deck. Now, there is a great question here of, is this their best deck? Have they saved their best deck for deck number 3? Or have they, as a lot of people have suggested, used their best deck at number 2, and now they're going for their second best deck, for instance? That is a very interesting question. You never really know. I mean, round 1, you could be playing your best deck against somebody's third best deck. It's kind of the cool thing about free deck survival. Now, on the left, we have a Shadows Logos. Oh, it's frozen. Boo! On the left, we got Shadows Dis Logos. On the right, we've got Brobnar Shadows Sanctum. So, once again, quite a lot of shadows. They are both Call of the Archon decks, which does kind of make sense if I'm honest with you. Call of the Archons has proven to be the better set at the moment, and I have just lost the iPad with the deck lists on, has decided to be stupid. So that's kind of annoying, but hopefully we'll get it in a second. Otherwise, we'll have to kind of try and grab it back, which will be annoying. Okay. Not ideal. So the good news is I've got it back. The bad news is I don't have the deck list. We'll fix it in a moment. I'm sure we'll find them. I'm sure it will be fine. Now, this is, really coming down to it. We're going to see, and don't get me wrong, right? 4-2 to make the second day of a tournament. Honestly, that is about as nice and as... what's the word I'm looking for? It's about as easy as you're going to get in a card game tournament. A 67% win rate actually getting you into day 2. We just don't see that very often at all. So Tobias has gone first, and he has started off playing down a Champion Anafiel. Oh, Dennis is off, ladies and gentlemen. He's got a Toxin, he's got a Tentacus, all of the disc creatures beginning with T. Only joking, there's Tesmal and a whole bunch of others, but at least a couple of them. So Blinding Light is going to come down, and that is going to stun both of those. Remember, Blinding Light, you pick a house and stun every creature of the house, yes, even if they're your own. And Champion Anafiel there could fight, choosing instead to reap. Oh, Sergeant Zakiel comes down. Now remember, Sergeant Zakiel lets you ready and fight, so you have no choice but to fight, you can't reap. We see a Sequis coming down here, I believe, and that's got an action, a reap skill that lets you capture an amber. We've got deck list back. I'm feeling alright about this. So Tobias going down with a big start, getting all his Sanctum creatures down, getting a couple of amber, doing alright. Dennis here, he is going off onto Logos for a turn, seeing what he's going to go for. And he's got himself a Valiant Analyst. Speaking of Bouncing Deathquark, Bouncing Deathquark. You can destroy one of your creatures and one of your opponents, and you can do that as many times as you like, but you've got to do the whole thing. So now that Dennis has none of his own creatures to destroy, he cannot get rid of Sergeant Zakiel because he's got nothing to get rid of himself. Down comes his Phase Shift. Now, he plays down an Urchin. Gets an amber for doing so. And plays down an Interdimensional Graft. If your opponent forges a key on their next turn, they must give you their remaining amber. And I missed it, but he must have played library access because he's drawing a lot of cards this turn. Yeah, that ain't bad, ladies and gentlemen. Although having said that, it wasn't the best turn I've ever seen. I think he was drawing there for the library access. So, straight away then, bait and switch comes down from Tobias to steal an amber, gets down an Umbra, gets down a Nexus. That was a super quick turn. Bait and switch, Umbra, Nexus, yours. I suppose if you've got 3 Shadows cards and you're going Shadows and none on the board, that's it. Oh, now he gets himself down an Ember Imp, but he also puts Flame Reaved on it, so he gets +2 power and Hazardous 2. That's kind of cool. Because, of course, Ember Imp says your opponent can only play 2 creatures. Oh, sorry, can only play 2 cards on their turn. So you want to keep that on as much as you can. So, and even something like Umbra with Skirmish, because it's got Hazardous 2, Umbra will be destroyed before the fight actually happens. This is fun. Oh, so we see a Grey Monk coming down. Each friendly creature gains +1 armor. We saw a little bit of a fight getting rid of the Ember Imp. The Ember Imp is gone, unfortunately. Well, unfortunately for Dennis. Fortunately for Tobias. And then Umbra does 2 damage to... I want to say Shula. Does 2 damage to the Shula, knowing, of course, that he's not taking any damage back because of the skirmish. So there's still a The Terror and a Shula on Dennis's side of the field. On his battle line, he's still got some good stuff going. But, shall we say, everything... Yeah, everything else he was rolling with is, well... Let's just say Tobias did some good stuff. Let's go for that. The loss of the Ember Imp is going to hurt him. So, we've actually got Neutron Shark coming down here. And Neutron Shark, when you play Fight or Reap, you destroy an enemy creature or artifact and a friendly creature or artifact. Discard the top card of your deck. If it's not a low, do it again. It's Anarchy. So out goes Umbra, out goes Shula. And then you discard the top card of your deck. It is a Logos card, so we stop. Down comes I believe that's a Ganymede Archivist. And then back over to Tobias. He's got a Nexus. Oh, manages to play a ghostly hand when his opponent has exactly 1 amber. And when your opponent has exactly 1 amber, you steal that amber. Good work. So Nexus there takes down Neutron Shark, because Neutron Shark does it again when it fights or it reaps. And Tobias is just like, you know what, I don't want to deal with that. I have no interest in dealing with that. So, we're back over to Dennis. What's Dennis got, ladies and gentlemen? What's Dennis got? He's got a Collar of Subordination. Now that is an artifact that you put on, or it's an upgrade that you put on your opponent's creatures and you steal it. So he's stolen the Nexus and he's played Control the Weak. I have no idea which house he's chosen, but Dennis gets to basically demand that Tobias chooses a particular house next turn. We just don't know which house it is. We need to get some little, because Control the Weak is in both Call of the Archons and Age of Ascension. We really do need to get some little tokens that just, when it's played, we know what it is. So we did see a Reaping there, and we did see a Poltergeist come down purely for the Amber bonus, but there was nothing that could stop Tobias forging his first key. So this is where we find out, hopefully, what... Okay, so, Blinding Light, and it is going to stun every... Well, he can't really go Shadows. Oh. Wait, am I misremembering Blinding Light? I might be. Let's just read Blinding Light quickly. Nope, so that will stun his own Nexus as well. Blinding Light stuns each creature of that house, not each enemy creature, so that Nexus should be stunned. Also played Doorstep to Heaven. Ha! So Ghostly Hand comes down to get a couple of amber. And we see a little bit of the old reaping. And he just ends the turn with 6 amber. Not bad. So we go Brobnar. Bumpsy comes down there. Opponent loses an amber. We get... Oh, I've forgotten that dude's name. That's a looter goblin. He's a rare. We don't see him all that often. When you reap for the remainder of the turn, gain an amber each time an enemy creature is destroyed. He's a pretty good one. That's a pretty good one indeed. So, Dennis has been able to build up quite the battle line here. And he's got quite a lot going on. Now, we did also see what I believe was a bare-handed coming down, and it just puts each artifact on top of its owner's deck. This has not been an artifact-heavy game so far. So we do see... Okay, so there, Looter Goblin's gone. I mean, you kind of had to, right? You kind of had to get rid of the Looter Goblin. Okay, so now we've got, that's a nice card, Burn the Stockpile. If your opponent has 7 or more amber, they lose 4. He had 8, he's down to 4. This is a really good Brobnar turn that Tobias is putting together here. He's doing a lot of good. Now he's also played War Song for the remainder of the turn, gain 1 amber each time a friendly creature fights. And I believe he's got Bumpsy that can fight to gain him an amber. And then we've got Loot the Bodies. Gain an amber each time an enemy creature is destroyed for the rest of the turn. So now, actually, if he's able to fight and destroy a creature, he'll gain 2 amber, which he does, except he only takes 1. I'm sure he should have got a second amber there. Because he had Loot the Bodies, which gives you an amber every time an enemy creature is destroyed, and War Song that gives you an amber every time an enemy creature fights. But we've got some stealing going on here. Oh, and then we've got a treasure map. Now, you gain 3 amber. But you can't kind of play any other cards. And I think Tobias lost an amber there. When he fought with Bumpsy, he should have got 1 for the War Song, unless he didn't destroy a creature, but I thought he did. Hey-ho. Doesn't matter, ladies and gentlemen. You can't win them all. So, I mean, Tobias is weirdly keeping up here. He's not had much of a board like the whole game. Oh, he is just piling on the upgrades here. So he's popped down a Blood of Titan to get a +5 power. And he's popped down a Yo Mama Mastery to gain Taunt. Oh no, it doesn't look like he's actually played Yo Mama Mastery. Now he plays Yo Mama Mastery. There we go. Gets the amber and fully heals. I was going to say, Yo Mama Mastery fully heals a creature and gives it Taunt. So you don't really want to do that right before a fight that isn't going to destroy it. You want to do it right after the fight that isn't going to destroy it. So we see Noddy the Thief stealing an amber, and we do see Dennis forging his first key. And I've only just finished telling you how Tobias is keeping up, and right now Tobias is not keeping up. Dennis is stealing literally all of his amber. He's already forged his key. He's got 8 amber. He's got a better battle line, and Tobias has no amber at all there. Now, he is going Sanctum. He does get a raiding knight down, which captures him an amber, and he gets down a bulwark, which gives armor to... Actually, he's got armor on the giant Bumpsy, which is kind of cool. That Bumpsy's like a 10 power, 1 armor creature with taunt at this stage. Oh, that's kind of cool. That is kind of cool. So, we do see just reaping. And I've been saying this on so many rounds on this Vault Tour and the others. Once you're ahead... Oh, miasma! Oh, wait, that's kind of irrelevant. His opponent has no amber. His opponent ain't going to be forging anyway. He literally just played it for the amber bonus. But when you're ahead, he's got 4 Shadows creatures down. He's forged 2 keys, so he just goes reap, 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 reap. That's all he did. So Shadow South comes down and another creature comes down, steals an amber, so I'm assuming it was an urchin. There is an urchin in his deck, that would make sense. And he plays down a dodger and he plays down a snack lifter. And he has taken Dennis off of check, but I don't see why Dennis wouldn't just go Shadows and go reap, 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 reap. Well, maybe steal, reap, reap, reap. Oh. Yeah. And Tobias goes, there's nothing I can do, mate. You got too much of a board. And that's what I say in so many games. If you can get ahead and you can build up a good board, you can win. Simple as that. If you're ahead, you can just build up a board and just sit there reaping. And all of those tricks, I mean, we've seen so many good turns in today's Vault Tour. If you're watching on YouTube, all the previous rounds are linked in the description. If you're watching on Twitch, you'll be able to go back. The videos will be archived. But we have seen so many really good, complex, complicated plays on this stream this week or today. But the fact of the matter is, if you can just take a lead and get some creatures out, you can just reap to victory. And then it becomes a whole lot less exciting. Incidentally, if the Nexus should have been stunned and if Tobias was an amber down, neither of them made even the slightest bit of difference to the game, so it was irrelevant in the end. As it stands, Dennis just had too much that game. It wasn't a terribly close game. It was a bit back and forth at the beginning, but Dennis did what we see in some Keyforge games. He took a lead, he got a battle line, and he rolled. And unless you can keep getting rid of your opponent's amber or clear their board or whatever, you have these games where your opponent takes a lead. I've heard so many players say things like, I can't play this deck at a Vault Tour because it doesn't have enough board wiping. I can't play this deck at a Vault Tour. It doesn't have enough amber stealing. I've got to be able to stop my opponent forging a key, and I've got to be able to clear my opponent's board, because if you don't, something like this happens. So congratulations to Dennis, who will be rolling on into day 2 with this deck. He's not allowed to change. And commiserations to Tobias, who came so close but unfortunately just did not do quite well enough. Huge shout out to the lovely folks at Crazy Killing Machine for allowing us to do this. And do please check them out. If you're on YouTube, there's a link to their stuff in the description. And if you're on YouTube, thank you very much for watching. Comment, like, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at the Wossy. Look after yourselves till next time. Bye!